Hey, hi folks. Today we are back with a very interesting video. Uh, and we're going to talk today about market research and also introduce a tool, an AI tool to help you in this market research process. So we'll go in depth in terms of what market research means, the importance of that in the product development process, and also look at how these AI tools will help speed up the entire process and also get a lot of credible sources in order to do these market research, right? So jumping into the topic, what you see on the screen is basically the different stages in which a product is developed, right? So starting from an idea screening to concept creation, developing a business case for it, product development, testing and validation, launching and monitoring in the market. A product goes through different stages while we develop this whole idea, right? So what you see on the next layer is basically at each stage, right? Like be it coming up with the idea or you generating the concept or generating a business case for it. In the entire uh, process, right? At each stage, market research is very important, right? And now, if you ask me, like, hey, what kind of market research are we talking about, right? Typically, we do like two kinds of market research. One is the market research where we call it like secondary market research, basically where we look at existing data available out there and gather data from different sources and then basically analyze it to gather the insights that we wanted, right? So basically looking at data available in the internet or all the data sources which is publicly available and then kind of combining into gather the insights we wanted, right? That's the first method. The second method is basically the method where you try to do a very specific kind of market research using things like interviews, focus groups, observations, online surveys, right? So these are the two types of market research you do. And typically, if you ask me, like both these things are combined in the entire process, right? Like throughout the different stages, right? So this is largely the idea in terms of what kind of research goes into product development process and what happens in each different stages. Right? Today, I want to deep dive further into in terms of introducing a tool for you, right? In order to basically help you in the entire research process, right? So, hope you understood the importance of research because if you ask me how important is the research in the entire process of product development, I would say that it's super important because it helps you to mitigate risk and operate under clarity, right? Rather than again firing bullets left, right, center, right? So that being said, let me introduce you to a tool today, which would help you in the market research process. So before that, right, let me quickly give you an idea in terms of how you should probably think about market research, right? Like what are the different steps you should think about market research, right? So typically when you are doing, let's say, a secondary research, that's what we'll concentrate in today's video. You should start with identifying the topic of research, right? Like probably write down, hey, what are the different types of questions you should ask, right? In terms of getting a clarity for market research. Second thing is identifying sources, then collecting the data, combining it and analyzing the data, right? So the very important thing here is identifying the right questions is super important when it comes to doing the market research, right? So let me show you an example which will give you more clarity in terms of how to go about this. Earlier in one of the videos, I was talking to you about an idea which I was tinkering around as a side project, which is basically building an e-commerce site for indoor plants, and also providing certain add-on services in order to help people who are interested in putting indoor plants and having a better uh, toxic free air inside their homes, right? Because you see, like, most of the cities today are the air quality index are very low, right? So inspired from that concept, I'm gonna do a small market research around it. So to start with, right, to do such a research, the first thing I want to do is, again, identifying the right questions to do the market research, right? So for the sake of this video, I'm going to show you a simple way to do that. But as a PM, the starting point should be used to start jotting down the uh, questions you need to ask. And obviously, you can use these tools to brainstorm, but the starting point should be always using your brain to do it, right? But for this demo, like, I'm going to show you an easier path to it. And on top of it, you can use your brain. So let's say you can open ChatGPT, right? And give it a query like this, right? Hey, I am planning to start a e-commerce site for selling indoor plants, which are aesthetically beautiful and can remove toxic air. Along with that, I want to also sell different add-on services like indoor plant consulting, compo packs, etc. Help me come up with a secondary research market plan questionnaire to start with. Also, a format in which I could combine this research input for easy analysis. Right? So if you go back here, you basically need to collect this existing data and you need to analyze it for easier inputs, right? So that's what I just meant. So basically, I gave the query and then I asked him, here's a format in which I could uh, combine this research information analysis, right? So it will give you now a bunch of questions to ask, right? Hey, second research market plan. Um, First, you go and look at what is the market. For this, you look at what are the customer segmentation, consumer behavior in the space. Look at the competitors, right? As it started giving me a lot of questions, right? Look at product insights, look at possible add-on services, online presence, how do you do, and all that. Yeah, it also gave me a data collection and analysis format template, right? It also gives me some tools and tips to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just copy paste this, analyze this first, make the changes, and then you uh, kind of take this, right? So first step is this, right? Identifying the right questions to ask is the first step towards the a good secondary market research, be it like primary market research, right? So in this case, we are focusing on a secondary market research. So I'm identifying the right questions, right? Now go to this tool called Perplexity.ai. The reason why I'm choosing this tool is because Perplexity AI has this capability to help you gather data from internet and give you the right sources for you to quickly analyze these data, right? So if you in fact go to, let's say, a Google or something, Google, or be it like ChatGPT, Google, the problem is it won't give you all these kind of answers to these questions in one shot. You'll have to go one by one, ask each question, dig deeper into different pages, get the input, right? If you go and ask this to ChatGPT, it typically hallucinate, right? Like it won't give you all the right sources. Uh, like ChatGPT is again getting better at it, but Perplexity is really good at this task, right? This is why I chose um, Perplexity, right? So when I click on perplexity.ai, and so it has different modes, right? Like there is search mode, research mode, and then the labs mode. So for this purpose, I'm going to use the research mode, right? Which is where it will act as your research assistant, uh, and then help you with the process, right? Sorry. I'm going to copy paste this. I'm going to click on go, right? So you see, right, it has started with the research, acting as an expert research assistant. It has started the research process. Right? It's going to take around 3 minutes to do this. Uh, Meanwhile, I would talk a little bit more about uh, the process again, right? Like, as I said, when it comes to the market research, right, it is important to identify these different questions in the right way, right? Which is how you can really get good results, right? Coming back, right? So you can see it have started analyzing different sources. They have started listing down those sources. It is like exactly like, let's say you are going to give this questionnaire to a research assistant, right? What it does, what he or she does typically is probably take one question, go to Google, look at 100 sources, take the right inputs from it, and then like get an answer for that, right? Then it goes to the second question, right? Similarly, what this research agent does is kind of help you in a similar process where instead of a human, the agent is going to go and do this duty for you, right? Like where it goes and analyzes top links for it, get the data you want, and then help you put it into a nice format for you to analyze. Right? So that is what this agent is doing. So it is mostly analyzing, right? So it is gonna analyze for each questions, and you can see this is gonna compiling it compiling the data insights, right? It is using Python to compile the insights, which is amazing, right? Like, so you don't have to sit down and again combine it. You obviously have to go through it and recheck and do all the stuff, but it's essentially trying to put it into a nice document, right? Which we can analyze, right? It is again super amazing, right? So there is almost 1 more minute left. All the questions are getting answered for you, right? In fact, it's doing a market sizing as well, right? So yeah. So when it comes to product development, right, it is very important you do this market research, as I said, at different stages, so that you can operate with more clarity, right? Instead of, again, as I said in the beginning, firing the bullet at uh, left, right, center, right? So that is the thing that these kind of tools will give you, and it simplifies the process, right? So if you look at it, the entire process took me roughly around a couple of minutes. The most time you have to spend here is against crafting the right questions, and also probably analyzing this and probably looking at more resources if there is more inputs required, right? So rest of the thing that you require, uh, Perplexity does it for you. And also one add-on thing, right? So Perplexity is currently freely available for Airtel users in India. So you can probably avail that offer as well, right? Like so that you get, I think it costs you around 17,000 per year. So that's freely available. So yeah, you could probably use that as well, right? So yeah, so you see, like the entire thing is done, right? It has done the market potential. Um, it has come up with what drives this, uh, the care, everything, right? The customer segmentation, who does this, top paid points, everything, right? Like beautiful, right? Who are the competitors, right? So doing a competitive analysis really helps because it helps you again to stay competitive in the market, right? So there are two reasons why somebody comes and buys with you. Obviously, there should be a demand for it. Second thing that is important to like really stay in the market is to know what your competitor does to stay competitive, because otherwise the customer goes to your competitor, right? So this process really helps in that as well, right? So yeah, that's it. So basically, you can now export this into PDF, uh, or even you can like create a Perplexity page out of this, right? Which you can probably share it to uh, your your teammates, right? So yeah, the research uh, first cut is done, and it took you just around like 8 minutes to do this, right? So that's the power of this tool again, which I want to introduce to you today. So hope you liked it. If you liked it, do share your thoughts in the comments, and also tell me like, hey, how interestingly you are using this tool for different other purposes, right? There are different other use cases. Would love to know more on how you use Perplexity. So until next video, see you.